How apt. WrestleMania weekend and it's episode 316.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see, you go out there and you talk about your Psalms and you talk about Scott Parker 316. But Farker 316 says it's quite close for this promotion, like, isn't it?
Focus 316 says we will retain possession of the ball, we will control the tempo, and ultimately we will battle out to a 1-0 win.
I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah. We have no notes written down because this was very short notice. But yeah, Burnley won, Sheffield United won. Watford gave us a little bit of hope against Burnley by going 1-0 up, but all it actually did was give every Leeds fan an opportunity to back Burnley at like 94, which I think is what basically everyone did by the looks of Twitter. Oxford 0, Leeds 1. That was incredibly stressful watching it, but only because of the pressure that Leeds put on us and we're a bit like a beaten dog where we're just expecting something bad to happen. Because other than that save Caldalo makes in the first half at 0-0, when Tanaka stumbled and gave the ball away. Other than that, did they have an actual chance?
No, not really. Like you say, there was the long throws that were going in, but whether it was planned that Volks was kind of mixing it up, so I think like the first couple went towards Darlow, and then there was a few that went more towards the penalty spot. Whether that was a kind of a plan to mix it up a little bit, or whether it was just that his throws were a bit off, I don't know. But yeah, even the long throws weren't that much of an issue.
No, before we even talk about our goal and stuff, one of the main reasons that the throw-ins weren't an issue, and because it's up there for the best performance anyone's had all season. Joe Rodon.
That man's a machine.
Absolutely fucking colossal performance. Like, I notice a lot more when, a winger has a brilliant game or striker or a number 10. Like some of those games that Ruter had where you were like, this is unbelievable. He's just like so far streets ahead of everyone else on his pitch. Well, Joe Rodon had the defensive equivalent of that. And plays the ball through for Bogle on the goal and just was really good on the ball throughout. There was absolutely nothing that, like, it was, for me, that was like a 10 out of 10 defensive performance.
Yeah, it's sort of a weird one in as much as because they didn't pose that much of a threat, it seems odd speaking that highly of a defender, but I think he was just so effective stopping things 25 yards from goal.
Yeah.
That just never. He seemed to win, just won every header, made some brilliant challenges. It is very confidently carrying the ball over halfway at times. Like you say, plays a lovely pass for Bogle to run onto in the build up to the goal. Just did absolutely everything that needed doing at the back. And I think there was that slide tackle that he makes. What's that, about 20 yards out?
Oh yeah,
and it ricochets and it comes off.
Throwing.
Yeah, sort of epitomised Joe Rodon's day. Did that one, but yeah, especially second half, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it's weird because they didn't have any chances, but like it was stopping things at source. Like it just never got that far. Like there was one where they actually got him behind, and his recovery pace, he just flew in, got the ball, didn't even have to get rid, just like, got the ball back, recycle possession, here we go, back in control. It was outstanding, and it's not like the rest of the team was bad by any stretch. Like we played pretty well. We should have won it. Probably, you'd probably say we should, with the way that we played and the balance of the game and stuff. We should maybe get one more. But like, if we're going to defend like that, one's fine. We were so good. The goal itself was an excellent goal. Obviously, Rodon's through ball is perfectly weighted. Bogle's pass across is absolutely perfect. Solomon doesn't even have to break stride. Great finish, back post, left foot. I know Solomon is left-footed. And once we got that goal, there was a slight difference, I think, in that game to other ones. Where although we were like, I was so nervous, I literally was a bit ill after the game. It properly, the nerves really got to me this time. But I do think we were a lot more in control of it. This was not 1-0 like the Barnsley game in the last promotion season, where we worried and we didn't. For the first time in ages, I don't think we looked nervous, like the players looked nervous. Even the games we played well, there's been nerves. And I really didn't see it in this game.
No, like you said, I think we snuffed out most of their attacks, got on the ball, and we just have long stretches where we just retain possession. They seem to drop into. They seem content with us having the ball sort of just inside their half anyway. We're sitting quite deep, but they kind of did that thing of we will press when the centre backs have the ball. If they make it into the middle third, drop into the low block, and so it just ended up with Leeds having so much possession. There wasn't really any issue on the counter attacks. I mean, there's the I'm trying to remember who it is that gets the yellow card for. There's like a breakaway in the second half. There's a foul out on the Leeds left, and there's just the I'm taking the.
I can say Bogle got one late on, and Gruev got one for us, and then there was.
I think it's the Gruev one.
Yeah, because it wasn't 92nd minute, so it must have been the Gruev one where he's just got. Oh yeah, I remember now. He just went no, didn't he? It was
just inside their half. I'm going to make this slide challenge. He's coming down because there's no one within 25 yards of him if he does get away. So, that's
one of them sensible things that we've at times over the last few years lacked. We've got there's a rate break on here. All right, you can just take someone out unless they change that rule and go that's a professional foul, and we're going to start giving red cards for it. Until they do that, it's sensible defending to just go no.
Well, I mean that was because that's the thing when you go back to the Swansea game, the two incidents in there that come straight to mind are Joe Rodon going across and giving away that penalty, and Ethan Ampadu getting a yellow card for one of those fouls when he absolutely did not need to.
Yeah,
and it's like you say, it was. I think we managed the game really, really well.
Yeah.
As you said, definitely, I would say we should have had a second based on. I think the two chances, obviously, the unluckiest is Tanaka's effort off the inside of the post and back out.
Yeah, which just looked really unlucky in real time. And then when you saw it back, actually, it's a phenomenal save from Jamie Cumming.
Yeah.
Like, it's a brilliant piece of goalkeeping.
Nonto has that shot that he pulls wide, which he definitely should have been the target.
He also whiffs one in the first half, doesn't he, from that ball across, which I honestly don't remember if it was Solomon that crossed it or Firpo. But it was in from the left and it went across the front. And it looked like if Nonto had been able to react, he actually had a relatively easy finish, but he just whiffed it.
Yeah. I think there was someone else who had an effort from just outside. Oh, did Bogle have an effort that he
had one where he didn't manage to run around it enough. So he was like running straight and then side-footed it. So unless you somehow manage to borderline slice it, it's going to go left.
Yeah, I'd like to think he should hit the target there. It was a bit disappointing, but we spent the majority of time in their half. And I think it was nice. I don't know whether it's because we're away from home and there's a bit less pressure on that. There didn't seem to be any need to try and force anything. Like they seemed perfectly happy to defend quite deep and allow us to have possession. We were in front early enough that we were perfectly happy to have possession, knock the ball around, and wait for the openings.
Yeah, and that was what that goal was. Just when you see it back with the 15 seconds before, it is quite patient until the spring. It's an excellent goal. But yeah, a massive, massive win, as they all are at this stage. Puts us and Burnley on 91. And Sheffield United are 5 points behind. 91 with 3 games to go. Like, by rights, us and Burnley. If you told us and Burnley 91 with 3 games left, like, you would just be going, okay, well, we're up then. But we're not. There is, however, a chance that we might be tomorrow.
Oof.
We might be. I wasn't even going to phrase it like that, but I just got Connie's prediction through, if you're wondering why I was looking over to the right. And it's Connie's prediction for the Stoke game is 2-0 win and we secure promotion with it.
Always gone
which
big.
I have put in the sheet as 2-0 win, brackets, and up. Yeah, Stoke at home. If we win, we'll be 8 points clear with Sheffield United. They've got 3 games left, so they can't drop another point. If you look, there's a reason that I had a look at what price we were to get promoted earlier today, and we're 1 to 100. Now, we're not 1 to 100. Although the Opta thing has it even shorter than that because it's like 99.7 or something daft.
Yeah.
Like, if a Sheffield United fan was sat here, they'd be going, I don't know what you and Burnley are worried about. It's done. But it's not done. It's never done.
Man, I've seen some things.
Yeah. So we'll get into the Stoke game a little bit. They did manage to win again a 2-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday on Good Friday, which in theory is sort of good for us because they are now 7 points clear of the relegation zone. And between them and the relegation zone are Derby, Hull, Oxford United, Portsmouth, and Preston. They are safe.
They've actually been on a decent run of Stoke.
Yeah, like if Stoke lost all 3 games, they would still stay up. So, yeah, back-to-back wins away at Cardiff and then to Sheffield Wednesday. And I hadn't actually realised, but they are unbeaten in 5, having won the last 3. No, having won. Sorry,
3 in the last 5.
Of the last 5, yeah, they're unbeaten in 5. So they are in pretty decent nick. But you would hope, ideally, this is them relaxing, but not relaxing in that, suddenly we play with freedom and we're good. Just like beach. We're fully on the beach would be awfully nice.
We are now preparing for next season.
Yeah. Because the difference with them now, the reason why they're so much better, and I feel perfectly comfortable saying, but this is the reason. Mark Robins. You know, like, I know that Coventry dropped down the league a load, but when you looked at, I know that it's wanky data stuff, but when you looked at like the XG table and things like that, when they were 15th and 16th under Mark Robins, they were like 4th in the league. They were just having a really unlucky run where they just kept losing games they should have won. So they've sat Mark Robins. Stoke jumped fairly quickly because they had Stephen Schumacher at the start of the season. It was going okay, but not great. They sacked him to get that. Can't remember. Is it Narcis Pelak? It's definitely Pelak. The guy who was Norwich's assistant. That was a disaster. They barely got a point. Sacked him, got Mark Robins, and it's turned it around. Mark Robins, luckily, has a lot of years of playing. Mostly, although he'll change the style, it's pretty much always 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So they won't be too difficult to figure out. They will sit a bit deep, but probably not as deep as Oxford did. Especially now they've got a bit of pressure off them. And they do have, while not absolutely tons, they have a lot more quality in the squad than Oxford do.
Like Lewis Baker.
Yeah, who at the age of what must he be, like 20? He's 29. I was going to say what must he be now, like 28? No, 29. And he's 30 in 5 days. Has really finally got going because I hadn't realised they sent him out on loan earlier this season. He was at Blackburn, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent him on loan to Blackburn. Where he played 13 games, and apparently one of the first things that Robins did in January was go, no, we want him back. So yeah, he's been playing at number 10 and going quite well. They've got 2 good options at striker because we've got Sam Gallagher, who's pretty decent up front, and they've also got that Ali Al Hamidi, who scored a shitload of goals for AFC Wimbledon, and then Ipswich bought him last season. Picked up a couple in their running, but couldn't step up to the Premier League, which is fair enough. Like he's still doing brilliant considering where he was. A lot of people like Bae Jun-ho on the left wing. I will check, but I'm assuming he's South Korean with that name.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it definitely sounds it. But I know that the All Stats Family guys were talking him up quite well, and Million Manhoef on the right is a pretty decent player as well. If they go with the same centre mids that they've been going with, then there's two options that it could be. It could be Jordan Thompson and Wouterberger, and Wouterberger's pretty good. But in the last game, they played Wouterberger and walking yellow card and gets sent off, I think, 3 or 4 times against Leeds, Ben Pearson.
Yeah.
I mean, if he starts, I know what's going in the bet builder. Ben Pearson card. It was at Elland Road last season or year before? No. I mean, it must have been last season because it was definitely in the Championship. So he came on and got sent off. And he came on, and I said to everyone around us, well, this guy's going to get booked. And he got booked almost immediately and then got sent off. But I also don't even think he's a particularly good player. He's just he just likes to smash people. So I sort of hope he plays because I don't think he's going to help their case.
Yeah.
Lyndon Gooch has been playing left back. And he's a pretty good player. But they've also got Eric Bocat, who I know less about, and he has actually started the last 2. So he might play. The right back as well. It's weird, actually. Eric Junior Bocat, left back, and Junior Shamadou, which Junior Shamadou sounds a bit like Joey Jojo Junior.
I mean, I was waiting for an opening there, but yeah, you've nailed that one. Also, Mamadi Sadivi's son is in the squad.
Oh, that's a good one for the players that you forgot existed.
Yeah.
But I also think, considering that how low down in the league they've been, I think their 2 centre backs and goalkeeper are all, pretty good. Like Ben Wilmot is good but not great. Ashley Phillips, I think, is an excellent defender and he's only going to get better. And Victor Johansson in goal is up there with anyone. They've been managed terribly to be this shit. Like, that's not a bad team.
The daft thing is they've been shit for such a long time as well.
Yeah.
Like you say, I look at this Stoke team now and it actually has something of a decent core to it. I was just looking at Lewis Baker, 6 goals in 16 appearances for them in the league this season.
Yeah, it's pretty decent going. I believe he has been on penalties, which is probably a couple of them. But he got one from his own half, didn't he? Not long since.
Yeah. But yeah, they have enough of a team there now that I think they'll. I mean, the good thing for them tomorrow is they can turn up and do whatever the fuck they want, really. If they want to have a go, grand, might as well.
Yeah. I don't know if they will, but if I was in the shoes of their fans, I would want to. Because if they had 3 points fewer than they do, I'd be saying the opposite. You'd go like, no, just try and stick deep shit out's the point. But I really do think they're safe. So they can they can have a go if they wish, and it would probably maybe I would think that Mark Robbins would want to see what they're like having a go to see what needs doing in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've just checked Stoke, it's 250 to 1 that they get relegated. Which means it's really like 1,000. I actually, looking through this squad has made me realise that that's a better side than I thought it was. As for Leeds, actually, I will just read this out because we've had a message off Connie himself, who is not about for the pod, but he is about. I have a gut feeling tomorrow's going to be the day. Can't see Sheffield United getting anything against Burnley, and Elland Road's atmosphere should get us over the line. God, I fucking hope you're right, mate. But I'm just worrying, to be honest. All I'm worrying about is us beating Stoke. We have not had a press conference between the two games. There might be one later today. I haven't checked.
From what I understand, Leeds basically had a flight chartered that had to be out, that had to take off by a certain time, otherwise they couldn't go. So it was pretty much a case of get changed, get out.
Yeah. Which is that when it's when it's Good Friday, Easter Monday, fair enough. You don't really need so much. But assuming there's no weird injuries that we don't know about or anything like that, unchanged. Because I will say the one thing that I took away, the only like negative performance that I think I could take out of that Oxford game was Dan James didn't look fit to me. And he's normally big on pressing and closing down, and he kept backing off and not wanting to get involved, which suggests to me that he won't feeling right.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him if he thinks he's fit enough making the change. I thought Nonto was fine. I think I prefer the dynamic we have with James and Bogle at this point, where, like you say, Bogle is actually quite comfortable kind of coming inside more. Whereas
was that on the podcast we were talking about that, or was it in the pub?
I think that might have been. Was that? No, I don't remember. It's all a blur.
Well, just in case, I'll say it in like a 20-second thing. In theory, Nonto and Bogle should work better because Nonto's really comfortable going inside, Bogle on the outside. It should be the winger that goes inside and the fullback on the outside. However, Bogle has been so good on the ball going inside that him and James has actually worked better with James being outside a lot of the time. And then cutting inside because he loves that left foot curling shot into the far corner that he scored against Luton.
Yeah. I mean, it's if he was fit enough, I think you could easily make the argument of bringing James back in. Like, Nonto's been fine, but I wouldn't go anything above that. You could replace Brendan Aronson with a mannequin. I don't know. That's a bit harsh.
He was all right against Oxford. In fact, by his standards, I'd even say good. It wasn't as good as early season Aronson, but
no. I don't know why. I do know why. It's because I think the second half of the season, I just don't think he's played very well. I've begun to dislike Brendan Aronson again, to the extent where I said to you, I actually wouldn't mind us finishing second just so he doesn't get a medal.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit harsh.
It's petty. It's definitely petty.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand with Max Verber on all this. But he doesn't seem to play, so... it's that thing of like... It's that thing when you were saying... I think we were talking like, if a centre mid gets injured, what do we do? Ampadu moves up and you went, oh, Max Verber, come on. Oh, yeah, we've got Max Verber.
Yeah, you did fully forget about him, didn't you?
Yeah. Easy to forget.
Yeah, I think it'll just be completely unchanged. James will be on the bench again. If James comes in, I think it will be for Nonto. I would be more interested if it was James for Aronson and Nonto to 10. But he's not going to change it at this point. And to be honest, as much as I wish he'd rotate more, fine. At this stage, you just have to roll with the punches. If Leeds win, then even Leeds would be struggling to fuck it up. Not making it impossible for us to fuck it up, but it would be difficult. Because, like, for us to, if we win this, it's not just that we would be 8 points clear. It's that even if Sheffield United do beat Burnley, with 2 games to go, we'd have 5 points in Sheffield United and 3 points on Burnley and a better goal difference than both.
Yeah.
So it's just control the controllable, win the game.
I know obviously kind of the thing for Burnley this season has been low goal scoring, but have only conceded 14 at this point.
To be fair, their goal scoring, it was low. It isn't actually that low overall. It's just that they've had like 4 or 5 nils that have bumped it up.
I don't...
Because they've scored the exact same number. They've scored the exact same number of goals as Sheffield United.
Well, that's what I was going to say. To be honest, is that they've both scored 59, which I would probably say in the top 3, I'd say that's on the low side.
Yeah,
I know where I mean,
just
I know
for
we're on
context, 13th place Norwich have scored 66 goals.
Yeah, and there's a Coventry and Middlesbrough both scored more as well. Yeah, I wasn't surprised about Burnley. I was surprised about Sheffield United that they scored as many as Burnley.
Yeah, I think theirs has been a bit more consistent. There's a lot of 2 and 3, whereas Burnley have had obviously all those 0-0s. And then they started like a train, didn't they, before they lost all those players?
Yeah.
And they've had a couple where they've just got a load all at once. A bit like they've had not quite as many as R7 against Cardiff, but they've had a few of those games.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting because I know on Radio Leeds have been speaking about the integrity of the competition, which, Football League, what integrity? But kind of this thing at this period now of but essentially just moving ours, Burnley's and Sheffield United's games at will. And I know essentially it's what you've signed up for because the television contract with the EFL is very limited. So you take what you can from it. But there is a party at this point in the season that's going, all these teams I feel like should be playing at the same time.
In an ideal world, they would, but it's never going to. Because, obviously, we played later than the teams around us on Friday, and we're playing earlier than them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal. But at this point, I don't think that matters. I think it's a lot more about what's up here than else at this point.
Oh, no, but there is part of me does think with these games now, especially with Burnley playing, then Sheffield United playing, then us playing, that if you're Leeds and you're travelling and then you're kind of waiting around more through the day for your game to come, you're definitely going to be paying attention to those scores. There's no way around it.
No, and I don't think there's any point trying to avoid stuff like that at this stage because you're not gonna. You'd have to be making such a conscious effort that you're gonna know. But that's the good thing. I know. I think Michael Normanton was saying it on the match ball that he's glad that this time we're playing first.
Yeah, I'm glad about that as well. And like you say, if we can get a good result from this, it's quite nice that yes, we could be promoted tomorrow, but essentially, if we win, it kind of doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. At that point, it just means we are a step closer to, we are a point away then.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, and it's a huge if we win tomorrow, we need a point from 2 games.
Yeah. And
that was another thing that I think was on the match ball, and I completely agreed when I said it. I think, again, it was like Norman saying, if we don't need any points from his last 2, we'll get 6. If we need 1, we might get 1. And I was like, yeah, that about sums up being a Leeds fan. So I've had the predictions in. Obviously, for the last game, I predicted a draw just purely out of pessimism. Everyone else went for a win but had the wrong score, so everyone's caught. So Connie's extended his lead slightly. Everyone catches up to me a little bit. Not that I am in any way superstitious, but I am going to go for a 1-1 draw.
I am going to go for a 2-1 win.
2-1 win. Connie has a 2-0 win and that we will go up because he has Sheffield United dropping points. Alex, 2-0 win. Benny, 2-1 win. It's going to be we'll have to see what happens, but it'll be depending on how Monday goes. We'll be back at some point. And I have no idea. I would love to be able to say, hey, if we go up Monday, we'll definitely be back on Monday night. But at the minute, we can't make a promise like that. Unfortunately, We've got a bit too much on. But luckily, no one would be watching us go live anyway, because if that happens, the square ball will go live and everyone will watch. Everyone will correctly go watch that.
Yeah. What we need to do, Jack, is feed off the scraps.
Yeah.
The knockdowns. That's what we want.
Yeah. So you're saying you need to start Bamford, Piru at 10?
No. No, I'm saying they're Lee Chapman and we're Rod Wallace. That's what I'm saying.
Nice. God, I'd kill to be 5% as fast as Rod Wallace. Rod Wallace now.
Yeah. I assume.
He just strikes me as someone who'd still have a bit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time, but I bet he's still got a bit. So, yeah, that will do us for episode 316 of the Mike White's podcast. Oh, hell yeah, etc.
Shh. Did we open up a can of audio whoop-ass today? Let us know.
No, I did open up a can of Dr. Pepper.
I'm going to have an Iron Brew Extra later. Listen to some Backstreet Boys. If you're a wrestling fan, enjoy.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's wrestling. No, it's not wrestling Christmas. It's wrestling New Year. Wrestling Christmas is Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that will do us for episode 316 of the Mike White's podcast. If we win tomorrow, it becomes legitimately we're getting to a stage where only someone like Leeds could fuck it up, really. So win tomorrow, and I think even I will have to say it's probably going to happen. So I've been Jack. See ya.
I've been Casey. Have a good one.
Just fucking win, Leeds.